Good morning and welcome to another Thursday's Thought for the Day. I thought I'd put my collar on today. We were finally ordained on the 4th of October at Winchester Cathedral, and it was such a blessing that all 27 of us were fit and well and able to be there. Anyway, in a moment I'm going to read a passage from Acts 27 verses 27 to 44, which talks about Paul's shipwreck just off the coast of Malta. So he was a prisoner on board. They were en route to Italy and they hit unexpected high winds, stormy weather for which they were not particularly well prepared. So here goes the passage. On the 14th night, we were still being driven across the Adriatic Sea, when about midnight the sailors sensed they were approaching land. They took soundings and found that the water was 120 feet deep. And then a short time later, they took soundings again and found it was 90 feet deep. Fearing that we would be dashed against the rocks, they dropped 4 anchors from the stern and prayed for daylight. In an attempt to escape from the ship, the sailors let the lifeboat down into the water, pretending they were going to lower some anchors from the bow. And then Paul said to the centurion and the soldiers, "Unless these men stay with the ship, you cannot be saved." So the soldiers cut the ropes and held the lifeboat and let it drift away. Just before dawn, Paul urged them all to eat. "For the last 14 days, he said, you have been in constant suspense and have gone without food. You haven't eaten anything. So now I urge you to take some food. You need it to survive. Not one of you will lose a single hair from his head." After he said this, he took some bread and gave thanks to God in front of all of them. And then he broke it and began to eat. They were all encouraged and ate some food themselves. Altogether, there were 276 of us on board. When they had eaten as much as they wanted, they lightened the ship by throwing the grain into the sea. When daylight came, they did not recognize the land, but they saw a bay with a sandy beach, where they decided to run the ship aground if they could. Cutting loose the anchors, they left them in the sea, and at the same time untied the ropes that held the rudders. And then they hoisted the foresail to the wind and made for the beach. But the ship struck a sandbar and ran aground. The bow stuck fast and would not move, and the stern was broken into pieces by the pounding of the surf. The soldiers planned to kill the prisoners to prevent any of them from swimming away and escaping. But the centurion wanted to spare Paul's life and kept them from carrying out their plan. He ordered those who could swim to jump overboard first and get to land. The rest were to get there on planks or on pieces of the ship. And in this way, everyone reached land safely. Wow, so this ship had been drifting in storms for 2 weeks. Everyone on board must have felt utterly terrified, exhausted, hungry, hopeless, and no doubt fearing for their lives and frankly probably not expecting to live. But Paul's faith and the authority he has from God once again sustains him and the 275 other passengers on board. He is again resilient in the face of repeated setbacks, and he's never shy to speak his mind. Despite being a prisoner on board, he seems to be an incredible leader in this situation. And without doubt, Paul was a remarkable man and leader. Now, the other remarkable saint I want to speak about this morning is St. Teresa of Avila, because it's her feast day today. So St. Teresa was alive on earth between 1515 and 1582. And she was canonized in 1622. And as I said, her feast day is today. And then in 1970, Pope Paul VI made Teresa the first female doctor of the Catholic Church in remembrance of all of her amazing work that she did. So like St. Paul, St. Teresa suffered massive setbacks in her life. Firstly, when she was just 11 years old, her mother died tragically, and she was left grief-stricken. And at this point, she increased her sort of a deeper devotion, if you like, to the Virgin Mary as her spiritual mother. And then, contrary to what her father wanted, at the age of 20, she joined the local convent. Now, she battled for many years with ill health, but despite that, she set up and established and helped to nurture a further 16 convents. And she became a remarkable Spanish mystic, author, and theologian of contemplative life. And I'm just going to leave you with one of my favourite quotes from St. Teresa. Here it goes. Christ has no body now but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which Christ looks compassion into the world. Yours are the feet with which Christ walks to do good. And yours are the hands with which Christ blesses the world. It's a wonderful, challenging passage that we are now the hands, the eyes, the feet of Christ on earth. So I'll leave you with that thought and have a great day.